Hello and welcome to the Natural Way of Life. Today I have been guided with this topic, spiritual growing pains. Now, I'm pretty sure we all remember at some point during our childhood something called growing pains. Like you literally felt that ache in your bones, and they called it growing pains because obviously you're growing, throughout your childhood, your body grows, your bones grow. And I do remember it'd be like these aches. You'd feel them sometimes in your limbs, in your feet, in your knees. And what I felt guided to talk about was, as adults, have you ever experienced growing pains? Now, I'm going to talk about this from my perspective. So, when I'm saying growing pains to you lot, I literally feel it because I've been going through points in my life. Like, there's always challenges and there's always difficulties. But over the last few years, particularly, I feel like I've really gone through some like deep soul growth, like physical changes in my life, energetic changes, mental changes, like emotional changes. And then it does play out on your physical body as well. So my physical body is actually feeling it. And I feel like for some time, I'm going through a lot of physical pain. At other points in my life, I feel like maybe I went through a lot more emotional pain. And I still feel like the emotional pain is really relevant. But the growing pain side of it, I honestly feel like that the physical discomfort I'm feeling in my body, I feel like a lot of it actually I sat down
and just tuned
and I
into my
kind of just
body.
tuned
And my body was just, it's like crying out to me. Like, I feel like I'm constantly consumed with physical pain. And I know I'm an emotional person, I've always been emotional, I've always been very sensitive. But I've not quite up until I feel like this point in my life felt like I've been suffering so much physical pain. And I feel like it's my body crying out, but I also feel like the growing pains, as I'm referring to it, like, so the pain I'm feeling physically is some form of growth. Like, it's my body's way of saying, hey, you're growing, like, there's a lot you're going through. And obviously, emotionally, like, there's only so much we can process, and then it almost kind of like stores up in the body as well. So I would say I'm very aware of these things. I am not perfect and I do not have all the answers. I'm mastering life as I go through it one step at a time in my own life and on my own journey. And it's flipping hard. That's all I can say. So I'm going to go through my examples. So I'm going to start with, over the last few years, my wisdom teeth have started coming through from when I think I was maybe around 30 into my early 30s now. The wisdom teeth have been making an appearance. I'd say the top two aren't fully through yet. The bottom two are starting. So I've got this like newfound voice where I'm like expressing myself a lot more. And it's it's no coincidence that, hey, my wisdom teeth are coming through at the same time. And the pains and the aches you get, it is almost like this new load of wisdom you're being filled with and you're growing with that's coming through. So again, that kind of aching pain with, guess what, there are other changes going on in your life energetically, and you are growing and you are getting wiser the older you get, and it kind of is all tying in together is what I'm saying. So that's really uncomfortable to deal with. And then I've, on and off, like sometimes I'll get different chest pains, aches in my body, my joints, feeling this tiredness, this heaviness, and even, through my legs, through my knees, through my feet. And I'm like, wow, and when I look at it symbolically in the journey, because there's been so much change in my life over these last few years, it's almost like my body was like reluctant to go forward and go with the change and the flow of things. And now energetically, I'm feeling it. So I do believe in, these growing pains as adults. And also maybe on another level, maybe there are parts of our joints, there are parts of our limbs, maybe our DNA is changing. Maybe we are also being activated and we are going through, our bodies are changing and adapting. Like, I'm just curious as well. Like, do other people experience this? Is anyone else experiencing anything like this? Because some of the aches I'm actually feeling, and it did bring me back to those moments in childhood, was that same type of that ache, that dull, that kind of numb kind of pain you just get with it. And, you know, I just chose this quick image here, grabbed it off Pinterest, and it's the rose through the hand. And, you know, I feel like whatever emotional pains we go through as well, it's all connected physically. You know, nothing is, you know, disconnected. Everything's energy, and energy is everything. And it's all connected. So I just thought, yeah. And then on the flip side, I'm guessing when, you know, some of this pain starts to ease and to move, you know, I'm embodying and accepting my emotions more. I'm beginning to step into an energy of accepting myself more for who I am. You know, why do I have to hide behind, you know, and be embarrassed or ashamed that I'm sensitive or I'm highly emotional, or my moods can switch real quick and I can go up and down real fast, and I can be moody as anything. Like, why do I question myself and I think, why have I always felt like that's something to be ashamed of, or that's not, you know, not desirable? Like, at the end of the day, it's me, you know, and I am fiery, and I do have a temper if I am, you know, betrayed, or if I'm hurt, or if someone does wrong to me. And like, those things I'm feeling and learning, it's okay to accept that about myself. And I feel especially as well, others may relate to this, and this is why I'm going to be sharing more and more openly on what's on my mind, because a lot of the time when we're on, you know, a so-called spiritual path or journey or awakening, like, there's this feeling that like, hey, you have to be all love and light or positive all the time. And it's absolute, I can't swear, but it's absolute lies. Like, it does not matter that you're more sensitive or you're emotional, or if you suffer with your mental health, that does not make you any less great or spiritual. You know, you do not have to be love and light all the time. That's not possible. You know, we have the sun and the moon, you know, we have sunshine and rain, warm and cold. Like, it's all about the opposites. Yes, the opposites exist, and throughout our lives we will be forever up and down on that spectrum of, you know, emotion and energy, and there is no such thing as being positive all the time. And it really angers me and actually triggers me when I'm online and I see so much of this talk, and like, just people that they don't have that understanding or that knowledge or that depth of, you know, actually we all experience things differently. And when it comes to things like mental health, it's not just something, you know, you can positively think your way out of, or your mindset will change everything. Like, it just doesn't work like that. So I'm embracing my truth now, and I'm stepping into that more, and I'm hoping by being more authentic and real about how I feel and how my life is, that will help me attract, how can I say, more people that can relate and that I can also help as well. So on that note, there is going to be a part 2 to this. So stay tuned, and we're going to be discussing more, because the growing pains, they, you know, physical we've talked about, yes, but I feel like, you know, there's also the mental, emotional and spiritual side of those growing pains too that we're going to get into, because as I've said, not everything is all, you know, love, light and roses all the time. That is just not how it works. And once you are aware and awakened to so much more, it is impossible to feel so great all the time. Like, it just doesn't go with it. So I'm going to be sharing more, because you know what, I've decided I've given my experiences, I've been given my life for a reason, and you know, what I can heal and do in myself, I can then help and heal others with. So thank you for watching, guys. Let me know in the comments if you relate, and yeah, look forward to bringing you more. Lots of love.